Hey guys, welcome to Sailing Samantas. This week we're going to discuss how to template marine bulkheads. This was my approach. Enjoy. We're not at the marina today. We got a lot of snow this weekend. Getting over the mountain just wasn't going to work out well. So I brought a project home to work on. If you saw last week's video, I brought bulkheads home. The old rotten bulkheads, and I brought the templating materials. 1/4-inch Luan is what I used to do that. I'm going to spend today making templates for those bulkheads. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be completely finished, but they'll be as close as I can get. And then when I get back over to the boat, hopefully next weekend, I'll fine-tune the templates and get them ready to stencil new bulkheads on the new bulkhead 3/4-inch marine plywood. Okay, so before we get into that process, I wanted to show you some of the materials you're going to need to install the bulkheads. As you may know, I ordered a bunch of this stuff. It's now come in. Let me show you what we got. So here it is. Epoxy by West Systems, the 105 resin, 205 hardener. That's the fast hardener. So in colder climates, you need things to cure a little bit quicker. Using the 205 hardener enables us to be able to lay glass in temperatures as low as 40 degrees. Now that's still pretty warm for winter time in Vermont. We do get some warm days, and I do have heat to supplement inside the boat. So I just need to get to a minimum temperature of 40 and no higher than 60 to be able to use this resin and have it cure the way it's intended to. So there's that portion. You need the mini pumps. You don't need the mini pumps, but boy, it's nice. They make a pump ratioed, 1 pump of resin to 1 pump of hardener. Gets you the perfect ratio. And these pumps are designed to do just that. You need some way to be able to roll out the glass, push the air bubbles out. This was a cheap set I got on Amazon. Had pretty good reviews, so we're going to try them out. Looks like it should do the job. Anytime you're bonding bulkheads to a hull or some other part of the boat, you need some form of thickener. Get like a peanut butter consistency out of the resin. You mix your resin and hardener, get them completely mixed and stirred together. And then you add this 406 to the mixture to thicken it up and get a peanut butter consistency. This is what I will use to actually bond the bulkhead to the sides of the hull and the cabin top. So I mix this up. I use a little bit extra, enough so that when I push the bulkheads into place, some squeezes out. And then I create a fillet or radius between the bulkhead and the hull, or bulkhead and cabin top, depending on where it is. And that radius adds quite a bit of strength to the connection. And then we get into this on the bottom here. This is 1708, so it's 17-ounce bidirectional fiberglass cloth, and stitched onto the back is 8-ounce chopped strand matting. For every layer of this fabric you lay down, you end up with 2 layers of material. Layer of glass, fabric, and a layer of chopped strand matting in a single application. So I'm going to cut my tape. It's going to be 8 to 10 inch wide strips for the tabbing to tab the bulkheads into the hull and also into the cabin top. And this is the material I'm going to use for this. You'll see it's kind of loosely folded here. That's not ideal. But anytime you fold material like that, you weaken the fabric a little bit. It's best to have it nicely rolled up. But this is the way it came from Amazon. This was the best price I found on real 1708 fabric. It's the right stuff. Unfortunately, it wasn't packaged in the best way. On Amazon, it was between $60 and $70 for 10 yards of this stuff at 50 inches wide. I actually bought 2 of these. That should be enough to do this whole project. And it'll also help me. You can see I've got my keel for the McGregor 21 laying there. It'll help me finish that project up as well. And many other boat projects to come. Behind the West Systems 406, you see a bottle of acetone. Very, very important. Never touch this stuff with your hands. Keep it very, very clean. Sand all surfaces that need to be bonded with fiberglass and resin with like 50 grit sandpaper. If it's a rough surface, get a wire wheel or something. Get into those lower spots. No shiny finish, nicely sanded. 50 grit's a good place to start. And then clean everything up that will be bonded with this acetone. So you want to apply it and then wipe it dry before it actually dries by itself, and to clean the surfaces thoroughly that are to be bonded. So always wear gloves, rubber gloves, something. Keep the oils from your hands off of the cloth and out of the resin as well. It's not good for you, and it's not good for the materials you're working with. Cleanliness is super important.
Well, it's time for a change. I'm tired of that same old saying, same old words, the same old lines, the same old tricks, and the same old rhymes. It's days, precious days, they roll in and out like waves. I got boards to bend, and I got planks to nail, I got charts to make, and I got seas to sail. I'm gonna build me a boat with these 2 hands. It'll be a fair curve from a noble plan. Let the chips fall where they will, 'cause I've got boats to build. Now sails are just like wings, and the wind can make them sing songs of life, songs of hope, songs to keep your dreams afloat. I'm gonna build me a boat with these 2 hands. It'll be a fair curve from a noble plan. Let the chips fall where they will, 'cause I've got boats to build. Now shores, distant shores, there's where I'm headed for. Got the stars to guide my way, sailing to the light of day. I'm gonna build me a boat with these 2 hands. It'll be a fair curve from a noble plan. Let the chips fall where they will, 'cause I'm gonna build me a boat with these 2 hands. It'll be a fair curve from a noble plan. Let the chips fall where they will, 'cause I've got boats to build.
So this is my second bulkhead. For one, I couldn't get it all in one piece. So I have to mark these pieces, how they fit together and where they intersect with each other. So this bulkhead goes between the hanging locker and the settee on the starboard side. And the first bulkhead I was working on is the one between the V-berth and the, this hanging locker on the starboard side. So some of this blocking that holds the cabinets and things in place, and you can see these metal inserts here. There's just a latch that goes in those holes to hold the settee bench up to access the storage space underneath, and also to be able to open it up into a sleeping berth. So all those things, I'm trying to document their locations very, very carefully so that I can bolt them back where they belong when they get in the boat. You see, well, I'm upside down. Let me spin around. This little strip here that's bolted on there, so it's 10 3/4 down from there, 10 1/4 inches from those 2 points, and then from this left side, I put a little mark there, and it's 10 1/4 over to the far left-hand side, and it's 5 3/4 inches long. So I'm trying to document those very, very carefully and lay them out off of these old bulkheads carefully, so they'll actually end up being in the exact same place, and everything should go together pretty well that way. Same thing down here. So I'm in the process of laying this last one out. I did the same with the first bulkhead template, which is stacked up in 4 pieces over there. Then I'm going to cut all these out with the jigsaw, and I'm going to leave just a little extra space. I noticed when I pulled these bulkheads out, they were not tight to the hull of the boat. There was a little space between them, and they were not bonded like I was just talking about with the 406 and the epoxy, the peanut butter consistency. They weren't bonded solidly to the hull. They were only tabbed in on the sides. So there were a little bit of airspace in the middle. I'm going to bond mine a little better, a little tighter. Hopefully it's not too much to overpower the rest of the design in the boat. I kind of don't think it will be. But you can see that little bump on the bottom there. I left some extra because I got to figure out where that line is. That bottom of the bulkhead was all rotten. But there's one template, 4 pieces. You can see that's cut out for the doorway. I left it attached in a few places. But that's the doorway from the saloon into the V-berth. And then there's the other bulkhead piled up, 4 pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these over to the boat, and I'm going to test fit them, fine tune the adjustment, make sure they fit as good as possible. And then I'm going to order my marine plywood, or I've been thinking maybe MDO, to replace these bulkheads. This one's a little bit interesting. It's beyond 4 feet wide. So here's 4 feet. You can see this top stringer pocket barely makes it into the panel. So there's a little bit more I'm going to have to add on here. And I'm going to have to do a 5-to-1 scarf and glue that little piece on. And then, so this bulkhead, it won't even fit inside the boat. I'm actually going to have to build this in 2 pieces. That little piece on the far right up top there missing. I'll have to glue that together inside the boat because it won't make it in through the companionway. And then once it's one complete piece, I'll be able to fine tune it and tuck it in place. So there we go. It was a wintry weekend, stuck inside the garage, but I managed to get something accomplished. I'll show you outside. It's done snowing. You know, it certainly has slowed down my boat progress for this week. This is actually Sunday. I'm usually working on Saturday on the boat. I try to do all day over there. Not today. Hopefully we'll be able to get back over there next week. It is pretty though. The snow sitting on the tree branches and things. I'm not going to miss it when I get to a warmer climate. I hope you guys have a good week and hope to see you next week.